Hi guys, I'm Taylor. I'm currently a senior at Montana State, and this is my testimony and how I came to Christ and how Christ has worked in my life and how Crew has helped with some of that. So I grew up in a home that didn't really practice Christianity. We went to church on Christmas and Easter and that was about it. But in high school, I got pretty involved with the local youth group, and the youth pastor just poured into me in a lot of different ways, and showed me that God's love is so great. So I knew from high school on that I wanted to be involved with my faith and wanted to know Christ. And I thought that life was going to be perfect after that and that I wasn't going to struggle at all, but I was pretty wrong. Freshman year of college, I got involved with the wrong group of people. It was a group of people that wanted to party all the time, and they were really great friends at the time, but they pulled me farther and farther from Christ, and pulled me to a point where I eventually just gave up on my faith. I was sort of attending Crew weekly meetings, sort of being discipled, not really a lot though. But I was going out every weekend, I was partying, I was drinking, I was making out with different guys. I was just making a lot of really poor choices. And I could feel my faith getting farther and farther away from me. And every weekend I would think that I was going to have such great satisfaction and have so much fun. But then I would spend the rest of the week trying to recover from those weekends mentally and emotionally, and I just didn't really think that it was doing much for me. Finally, towards the end of spring semester of my freshman year, we went on spring break to Canada. We went to Canada just to drink basically the whole time. And I came back from that and went home for Easter. And my parents were just pretty disappointed in me. And I didn't know what it was like to have my parents that disappointed in me. And it hit just a little bit differently than their anger. And so my dad and I had a really great conversation just about where I lied or laid with my faith and what that looked like for me. So the following weekend I came back to campus and I told my friends that I didn't want to party with them that weekend. I just wanted to stay home and see what it was like just to spend an evening in on the weekends. And they were pretty mad at me, and it was a pretty lonely weekend. But I think that weekend was where things started to change for me because I received a couple texts and phone calls from guys asking for hookups. And that really rocked my world because that wasn't who I was. It's nothing I'd ever participated in before. And I was pretty heartbroken to realize that that was the image I had set for myself in Christ. So that night, after receiving those texts and phone calls, I prayed to God, and I just asked for forgiveness and asked Him to help change my life around because I was going down a dark path that was faithless and cold and isolating, and there was so much hurt in that life. And pretty quickly that things started to turn around for me. The girl who was trying to disciple me led me towards the Lake Tahoe summer mission with Crew. And I agreed to go. And when I got there, I didn't really know what I was doing, didn't really know how to do devos or pursue my faith in a way that everyone else around me seemed to know. But for the first time in my life, I was surrounded by a strong Christian community that just genuinely loved me for who I was. They didn't care how broken my past was or where I was coming from or how well I knew God. They just cared that I was excited to learn more, and they wanted to love me right where I was at. And that was such a life-changing summer for me. Coming back from that summer, it was pretty hard living with people who didn't believe in Christ and who didn't agree with the faith choices I was making. But I had this whole new community that I had built up, sharing the gospel with me and teaching me how to share the gospel with others. And I felt more connected to Christ than I ever had. And for the first time in my life, I actually had a way to get out of my hard problems, and that was through Christ. And since then, Christ has just continued to make impacts in my life that mean so much to me. And continue to get me through all the hard things. And it's become one of my passions is to share that with other people and see other people learn to understand Christ in the same ways I do. So that's my testimony up to this point in my life. I'm sure down the road it'll change some more. But thanks for listening.